So go to your browser and first tell me that are you able to see my screen? If you can see my screen, give me high five. Okay. Is my screen visible? All right.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you for responding. So please type in Google Colab. And
Looks like Buster's just put his hand up. I'll just say before we hear from Buster that, you know, if you go ahead to those options, zoom ratio, the best button there is to click on fit to window, and then you'll get a nice big screen from Rupa on your laptop. I don't know if Buster's put his hand down. Possibly it was a mistake, but if shout if you want to say something.
So I'm going to share this link. So please click on this link if you couldn't find this file.
Some years ago, Microsoft bought out GitHub.
Okay, so once you click on this link, you will get this page. And if everybody is on the same page, please confirm, or if you're not in the same page, you can just type in the message. All right. So once you get this page, just click on this at the left-hand side top corner. And here you need to sign through your Gmail account. And since I've already signed through my Gmail account, I can start creating a new notebook. So here I click on the new notebook. Okay. All right. So here I click on the new notebook and I get this prompt, and you can start creating, you can start coding in Python. So the first code we write is print hello world, and you can just click on this icon or shift enter, and this will print you your first ever code as hello world. So if you want to create new cells, you can just click on this plus code option and it will create new codes, new line of code where you can write the codes here and Python will understand the coding, that programming you have written. And once you click on this, it will run that piece of code. So we learned yesterday's session how to create a variable, what is identifier, what is keywords, as well as we learned data types, and we learned how to convert one data type to another. And in today's session, we are going to learn different data structures, and here I write comment since it is a comment, and as we discussed in yesterday's session, since this is the comment that I'm writing, so Python, when you write comment and you need to use hash before a statement or before an expression, so Python takes it as a comment. It does not take it as a piece of code. All right, so it doesn't give me an error. So if I do shift enter, it doesn't give me an error. But if I simply write data structure, this will give me the syntax error, right? So this is the power of code, power of comment. So let's get started with list and what are different data structures. So let me share my screen and a different screen, and let me help you with more interesting way of learning about list. So can you see this blank screen right now? Please confirm if you can see the, okay, amazing. So here, take this color maybe. All right, so I take this white color. So here we are going to learn about list and tuples, dictionary, These are different data structures that we have in Python. So why do we need this? So yesterday we created a variable called a and we assign the value as 35. But if you want to create more, if you want to add more items, then we have list and tuples, which allows us to add more items, such as if I create, list. Sorry. Okay. So if I create a list, and list is always created within square brackets, and I can say it 35, 26, or maybe 9, 10, and then if so, you can see that this can contain more number of items. So that is the wonderful feature of Python that allows us to create these data structures. So let us make it more interesting. All right. So sorry for the bad drawing. So here I have this particular variable, and this contains only one object or only one person. But if you want to add more number of people or more number of items, we need list, right? So here for list we can include this. We can have different number of people and different kind of people. Okay. And we can also have different types of items, such as maybe it can also contain, right? It can also contain this, and it can also contain non-living objects such as tree. So when you put this all under one bucket, this gives us list. And I can separate all these items by using a comma. Okay. So all these items I can put, and this is called list. Now, what is tuples? Tuples, when we place all these items within parentheses or within these round brackets, this is called tuples. And similarly, I can use all these items and something like this. And if I place all these items within round brackets, this is called tuples. So can anyone tell me why do we need tuples when we can place all these items in list as well as tuples? So why do we need two different kind of data structures? Any idea on this? You can unmute yourself and you can talk. Please let it be interactive, and I would love to interact and hear you. Any idea? Any guesses? You can have any wild guesses. It can be the right answer, a wrong answer. So don't worry about giving a wrong answer.
Can we say that maybe a tuple different from list? In terms of a tuple, we cannot maybe change whatever in it, but list has kind of sequence or something like this?
Amazing. That's the right answer. So with tuples, we can make changes. For this particular list, I can have, I don't like this person. So I'll just remove this person, and I'll just have this, and then I'll have this my. Okay. have this mice. And maybe I just want these two favorite people and I don't like all of these. Okay, so this is why I create a list. But with tuples, whether you like them or you don't like them, once you have created, you have to handle them. So that is the difference. Okay. So how many of you find this interesting, this example interesting and useful? Okay, thank you for responding. So list, since we can remove these items, it is called mutable. That means we can change once it is created. And since tuples, we cannot remove these items, we call it immutable. All right. So let's continue with this again, but and for now, let's do some of the coding. So let's see how it works in Python, how we can create this in Python. All right. So please confirm if you can see my screen for coding, Google Colab. All right. So I create this list called list1. I give this variable name as list1, and I want to add maybe 1, 2, and 4, 6, and 8. So these are the list. These are the items that I have put in my list1. And another list that I create is list2, which contains maybe all the odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Right, so this is how we can create list. And how do we check that it is a list? So Python has a functionality to tell us that what is this list. Okay, sorry, what is the data type of this particular variable that I have created? So I can check this by type list1, and if I do shift enter, this gives me as list. So as you can see that this is the list, right? So let's see by creating a tuples. Please allow me a second. I have a low battery and I forgot to plug in the battery. Please allow me a few seconds. Thank you.
Happens to the best of us. So thanks for all the engagement so far. Anybody want to shout that they're not following? Anybody want to raise a hand? Just check something while we just have this natural pause while Rupert just plugs in.
Thank you. I'm back.
Okay, great. Welcome back. We might need to unmute you, Rupert, I think possibly. Let me see if I can click that for you. There we go.
I'm back. Okay. So thank you for supporting, Richard. All right, so this is how we create lists. Now let's see how we can create tuples. And this is how I comment, because I want to understand. And why do we comment? Because I want to understand, as well as later on, if I forget that what I have done with this coding. So comment helps me recognize the task that I have done, as well as it also helps me to explain my peer groups and my stakeholders. All right, so I have done comment. So let's create a tuple, and I give the name as tuple1, then maybe 12, 13, 6, sorry, it has to be under square or round brackets. So 11, 12, 13, 14. And let's check the type of this variable. So we write type, and within round brackets, I give this variable name and shift enter. So this gives me tuple. All right. So how we can work with list and how we can work with tuples and what are the functionality. So let's get back to our drawing board again. Connect between MATLAB and Python. Okay, so let's get back to our drawing board. All right. So here, for example, now you know that how to create a tuple and how to create a list. So now you all have met Paul. And so let me give an example of Paul. So suppose he likes uh, a lot of books and he has a bookshelf, which, and one of the bookshelf that he has allowed to share with or everyone. So whoever comes to Paul's house, he allows them to pick up the book and go and read it, and then maybe they can return it later. So Paul, what he does is he creates a list for all the books. All right, so he has all these books. In bookshelf 1, he has put book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, and this is book 5. All right, so here these are all items of the list, right? So these are all the items of this particular list, and all these items are separated by commas, as we learn that all the items in the book are separated by commas. So if Paul wants to, and here if Paul has given one book, maybe you have taken out book number 5. So now the list 1 becomes, so how many books now Paul has and what are the list of books Paul has? Please share in the chat window. So since book 5 he has given to somebody else, so now we have book 4, book 3, book 2, and book 1. All right. So this is how we can use list and tuples. Okay, so can I ask you one question? If Richard doesn't want to share any of his book, so will he, is he going to create a list or a tuple? Please share your answer in the chat window.
Let's get
Amazing.
as many people as possible in the chat here.
Great. Awesome. So it's going to create a tuple. So because tuple doesn't allow us to change any object, to change any of the items. All right. So now here we have list of items and how I can, so now since for this particular list 1, if I want to fetch this particular book 1 or book 2, so what I need to do? Here we have something called index in Python. Python allows us for indexing, where by indexing we can fetch the items in that particular list. So it is just like the name of these bookshelves. So this is at 0, this index at 0, this is at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here, if I have this particular list of items, maybe book 1, book 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here the indexing starts with 0, and then 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. So if I want to access this particular item B5, what I need to do is I need to take this list. This is the list of books that I have given, list 1, and index is, can you tell me what is the index of this B5? Please type in the chat window. Index of this B5 is 4. Perfect. So I just write down 4 and I get this item. So let's see while coding how we get this data. All right. So here I have created this list 2, which has maybe book 1. All right. And also, please understand that since these are the strings, we need to keep this under double quotes, and in Python, strings are always under double quotes. So here I have all right. So now I want to fetch this last item. And in order to fetch this last item, I give the index and give shift enter. Then I get this last item as book 5. Can you tell me if I want to access this book 3, what would be the code for this? Can you type in the chat window? Book 3, okay, 4, awesome. Thanks, Derek, Yashwin, amazing, Parita, great. Wow, amazing. So everyone is learning and that's really nice to see. So this is how we can fetch items, and this allows, indexing allows me to fetch any items of that particular list. So now I see the answer is this particular third item, which is at index 2. Now how I can perform different operations with list. So here, different operations. So let's perform addition. Let's see how the plus operators work with list. So here I have list 1, which is, I take all the odd numbers. 1, 2, sorry, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And I have list 2, which is 2, 4, 6, 8. And I want to add these two lists. Can you guess what would be the outcome for after adding these two lists, list 1 and list 2? Can you guess that? Okay, so if I do list 1 plus list 2, I get both of these lists concatenated. So both of these gets extended concatenated result. Perfect. So it does not add both the list like 1 plus 2 and 3 plus 4. It does not add like that. So it just concatenates. All right. So if I want to write down list 1 2 times, can I write down like this? List 1 plus list 1. Yes. So if I want to add these two, one item, one list 2 times, so I can just concatenate both the lists by writing list 1 plus list 2. But if I want to concatenate this 50 times, and so addition would be very difficult, right? So can you suggest what do we need to do here? Which operation we can use? right? Harshita, okay, no. Any other idea? Okay, Kianush, thank you. Great. So yes, if I want to add, if I want to write down list one for 5 times, I can simply write down list one and use multiplication operator and 5 and then shift enter. So this gives me all these lists. The list one is repeated 5 times. All right. So multiplication operator helps over here. Till now, how many of you find this useful and enjoying? Please type in me. And if you're learning something, great. Thank you, Srinivas, Elijah, Carlos. Thank you so much. Great. So similarly, we have tuples. So let's work with tuples. And for tuple one, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we have tuple 2, which is, sorry, which is 5, 6, 7, and 8. And let's see if I add this tuple 1 plus tuple 2. So this gives me, so again, this extends the entire values. All right. Okay. So we learned about tuples, how to create tuples, and we also learned about how to create list. And if I want to convert a list to a tuple, what I need to do? So here we have tuple, and if I convert this, suppose if you want to convert this list to tuple, and we can simply write down tuple, and within round brackets, we can say it as list one. So why do we want to convert this list into tuples? Can anyone have an answer for this? Why do we need to make it immutable? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Exactly. So if I want to make my data immutable, I do not want this to be altered by anyone, then I can convert my list to tuples. All right. So, and why do we real-time examples for tuples is that when you have employee ID, employee information, or your, you know, your designation or your blood group, all these important information, it can be kept under tuple, which we do not wish to change these items. And for list, we can just it allows us to change our items with time. If I want to replace it, I can replace it.
It sounds to me, Rupa, as well, that out there in the world again, whether this was, say, a health company, someone using quite important data about a person that has got risks, that's critical, that not doing this could create a real problem.
Exactly, right. So for tuples, nobody can alter with our important informations. Um, so that is the reason we create tuples in the business. Okay, so let's understand about, we learned about indexing, and similarly the way we do indexing for list, we also do indexing for tuples. And so let's take another, just one simple example for tuple. So I have these items, And also it can contain different data types. These lists and tuples, not only integers, but it can also contain different data types. All right. So here I have, for example, I take integer, and then I can take, okay, so let me take the name of the person. And since the name of the person is a string character, so I keep it under double quotes. And then, for example, the age, I put it as 30. And then the name of country where he lives is India, or the company that he works is Google. And the weight, I want to enter the weight, maybe 56.5 kg. So this is how I create a tuple. And in order to access these items, I can just write down the index. If I want to access the age of this person, so since age is at first index, I just type in 1. I take the index as 1, and this result as 30. Right. So indexing works same for both list as well as tuples. All right. So now let's see how to work with slicing. And what is slicing? If I want to use all these data, if I don't want to use the weight of the person, I can just slice few of the information, for example, his name, age, and the country or the company. So how can I do the slicing? So if I do slicing, for slicing, we use square brackets. And since this is Rahul is at, the name of the person is at 0th index, and we use this semicolon, and I want to use still Google. All right. So I just take 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, because in slicing, it's if you take the last item, it gives me last minus 1. That is, if I take this 4th index, it gives me till this 3rd item. Sorry, this 4th item. So just let's check this out. All right. So since it gives me 4th minus 1, 1th index item. All right. So can you suggest this question to you? If I want to take from only India and Google, what would be the slicing that I need to use? Can you type in the chat window? If I just want India and Google, what is the slicing we need to use? Okay. Kunsun says 2, 4. Great. Okay, that's nice to see your responses. Kunsun, Kianush, amazing. Layan says 2:4. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you for responding, everyone. So let's check. There's 2:4, and this gives me answer as India and Google, right? So clap. I just want to clap for people who gave me the correct answer. Say great. Awesome. Great. So this is how we work with slicing and indexing, and it's a very important concept. And most of the slicing and indexing, it is widely used for data analysis, and data scientists, they love indexing and slicing to fetch the data, as well as to fetch the chunks of the data. All right. So now let's understand how we can work with some built-in functions. So Python has some built-in functions which allows our work to be much easier. So in our example, the drawing board example, we have taken all these books. So if I want to calculate, if I want to count how many books I have, so what can I do? So if I have a lot of books and I just forgot the count of all these items that I have, so how Python allows me to work with that. So here comes something called the built-in function, which is len. Len allows me to count all the list of items that we have. So in our list one, or for example, yes. So let's take our list one, and I use len function within round brackets, and then shift enter. This gives me 5. So this list one, since it contains 5 items, I can use len function, and it gives me item as 5. Can you find out the answer for tuple 1 that we have created? And give me the answer for tuple 1, how much is the number of items? Can you count that? Okay, great. Perfect. So how can I get this as len tuple 1? And this gives me the answer as 5. So great. Thank you, Derek, Adrini, Sandeep, Elijah. Awesome.
And so just to
Perfect.
mention, we're making such great progress, and love that handwriting earlier on as well, Rupert.
Okay.
Much better than mine. We're exactly halfway through this 90-minute session. So just taking a breath for a moment. This is an opportunity just to check in with everybody. We have 35 people on here. If you're confused, if it's going too fast, just let us know in the chat. Remember, this is being recorded, so you get the chance to go over this again. But this is a chance also to put some questions in the chat at any time as well. But can I just check in with everybody? Just check with everybody. How are we doing? Is everybody following this? Can we get a yes in the chat if you are? It really is okay to say no, but let's just check. We've got a core number of people that have been joining in, but there's a lot of you here, and it's really okay not to, but look at these yeses here, but that's still only about 10. Could we get everybody to lean forward? Okay, so we'll come to the one you didn't get in a moment.
Paul, you kiboshed my "is anyone here" from Milton Keynes question.
Oh, okay.
Which I was just trying to check. So can I get an MK in the chat if you are, because we just have to report our numbers back to our sponsors for this. So I know we're we're an international audience, I know, and that's wonderful. It's being funded actually from the town of Milton Keynes in the UK. So there may not be, but just put an MK in the chat for me if you hear from MK, so we could just do a quick register on that. I'd be very, very grateful.
Really going to be helpful to us. So really, if you're from MK, please say
cool.
so.
Yeah, thanks, Yashveen. That's great.
There's one,
Any others?
but we're hoping for more.
Well, it is what it is, but just checking.
If you're from Milton Keynes, please can you type in the chat MK?
I'll put an MK for me.
It's only something to be proud of. Anyone else from Milton
Paul's
Keynes?
not the biggest fan of our architecture, but anyway.
I love it. I can't wait for the robot taxis that have been coded in Python. We had DUA. You just said there's something you didn't get. Can I invite you just to put your microphone on to ask your question? Because we may be able to clarify it for you.
Yeah, maybe it's not a big deal, but when we try to create from list, we convert it to a tuple. I follow all the steps, everything, but still giving me an error. I went through the your link from Stack Overflow, but still didn't work for me. Although it's very easy, it should be very easy, but I don't know what's the problem.
Okay, so as I understand, you had an error while you tried to change a list to tuples. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so maybe you have typed the wrong. So please make sure that these are case sensitive. So you have checked words as it is. So let's just please follow me along, and if I can help you. So here I have a list, and all right, so I just say MKAI, and we have 35 people, and here I have LinkedIn, and all right, so I want to convert this to tuples. So what I can do is TUPLE within round brackets, and I give the name as list 1, and this converts from list, since this is within square brackets, list is in square brackets, and this converts to tuples, which is in round brackets. So please tell me if you are, please confirm if
Yeah,
you are.
I did the same, and even I checked the type of the list, it is list, but still I have the same error. Like, yeah, tuple object is not callable.
I'm sorry, could you please type in the chat window what is the error that you're getting?
Sure.
Or can you simply just run this piece of code? Please type, please copy paste this. All right, tuple and list 1. Okay.
Yes,
Is
sure. I copied your code, but still I have an error.
you get the same error? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who is getting the same error? All right. Now I have tuple object is not callable. Okay. Okay, maybe that's a different version of Python that is being used. So
We did have that question at the beginning. A couple of people are saying, which one should I use? So which one should people be using?
no, if you want to convert list to tuples, so you can just use tuple and list 1, and this converts list to tuples. So that's okay if you don't get this one, so that's completely all right, and we can check it later. Maybe it's an issue with the Python version that maybe you're using.
So what you're saying, just to be clear for Dua and her learning, Dua, you're not doing anything wrong that we can see. It's more likely to be a version of Python. Just go with it for the moment, and just if you could just live with the frustration. Rupa can't see anything wrong. That's okay.
Okay.
So we're into the last about 40 minutes or so now. 35 minutes.
All right. Okay. So let's get back to our drawing board, and let's try to understand some more about list and tuples. So now you have, Paul sharing all his books from his library, and you are really happy with him, and you want to gift him a chocolate, and you want to put this chocolate into shelf 2. All right, so this is the chocolate, maybe. All right, so sorry for the bad drawing. So this is the chocolate that you want to put in the shelf 2. So how can we put this? in list. So list gives us an option called insert, and then we can do index and the item that you want to add. All right. So let's get back to the coding in Google Colab. And here I create this, maybe name of books. And here I have B1, B2, B3, and B4. And I want to add an item to, I want to insert that item over there at the second index, okay, or at the second shelf for Paul. So for being such a nice spot, right? So what I can do is name of books. This is the shelf name that I have. Dot insert, and I want to put it at this second shelf, that is 0 and first. This is at the first index. So I type in as 1 and I give him a chocolate. All right. So let's see what is, if this shelf contains the chocolate or not. Wow, awesome. So this contains the chocolate, and I hope Paul is happy with this. Okay. So this is how we can insert item at any location where you wish to. So can you give me an answer if I want to insert the chocolate, or maybe if I want to add, if I want to give some more gift to Paul, maybe what would you like to have, Paul? So I would like to get an answer from Paul. Great. Maybe cookies. I want to give, let's give cookies to Paul at the third shelf. That is at, um, second index. So can you just tell me what do we need to write as a piece of code? Please type in the chat window if I want to give cookies at the third shelf. Okay, awesome. Yashwin says 2 and cookies. All right, amazing. And what about others? Okay, Elijah says awesome. That's great, guys. And I just loved your answer, and you guys are getting correct answer. So that's amazing, right? So if I want to give cookies at the third shelf, I just type in the index as 2, and here I give cookies. All right. So now let's check if the cookies are added to the third shelf or not. Oh, that's awesome. So we have these 2 great gifts for Paul, right? So how many of you find this useful till now, and you're getting confidence about Python? So if you're getting confidence, okay, thank you, Carlos. And please let me know if you're enjoying till now, if you're enjoying the session. I would love to know that from you. If you're enjoying this session, please write enjoying. Thank you, Elijah. Great. Amazing. Natasha, Grace, Kunsun. Awesome. All right. So since Paul has been very nice, and and I just want to take that book number B4.
And can I have some more chocolate, Rupert, as well?
Okay, sure. At what shelf would you like to have chocolate?
Oh, I
At
don't know. You
4?
decide for me. It's always nice to have a surprise.
Okay, sure. So now since the number of shelf has increased because I have added 2 more items, I've given so many gifts to Paul. So now if I want to give gift at maybe a 4th shelf, then just see 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it will come after B2. So one more shelf will also get created. All right. So I can just write down the index 4 and more chocolates. All right. So, and shift enter, then again check this bookshelf, and wow, so I have an increased number of bookshelf as well as so many gifts for Paul. So now if I want to remove this or if I want to fetch this particular item, the last item, what do I need to do is I just write down dot and pop and shift enter. So this gives me the last item. So if you want to fetch the last item from the list, you just have to type in the name of the list and dot pop. All right, so this helps me to give this item, name this item. And it also removes this particular item from that list. So now he has 1 book less in his bookshelf. All right. So now if I want to give, if Paul wants to add 1 more bookshelf, because we have taken some of his books and he likes more chocolate. So what he does is he creates 1 more bookshelf. All right. So let's go back to our drawing board.
And we've got a question in the chat from Harshita. Can we replace B3 with anything else?
Can we replace B3 with anything else? Yes, we can. Just a second. We can replace B3 with, yes, of course. So, okay, thank you so much for asking this question. And Harshita. All right. So if I want to replace B3 with something else, then what do I need to do? Is so here in this particular in this bookshelf, I want to replace B3 and I want to give another book as B5. So B3, can you tell me B3 is at what index?
I can only see your drawing board, but not the collaboratory. So if you can go to that first.
I'm sorry, I'll just.
No issues.
Sure. All right. Okay, now is my screen visible?
Yeah, so it's at the 5th index, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
this is at the 5th index. Awesome. So just a second. I want to remove this item and dot five equal to B5 0 1 2 3 4 5, right? And I want to replace this with this particular item, and I got this as B5. So this item is being replaced with B5. Great. So this is how we can replace any of the items. So for example, now I have given enough of chocolates to Paul, and I want to take out this item, chocolates or maybe cookies, and I replace, or maybe Paul says that I do not like cookies, I just like more chocolates. All right, or maybe ice cream. So I want to replace cookies with ice cream. So here I can just replace, since cookies, I have put it in shelf 3, that is at second index. I use this and I give ice creams.
Unfortunately, I've been told I have to go on a diet because I'm eating so much chocolate. So you're going to have to replace it with a glass of water.
All right. So, okay, sure. So let's give water. All right.
I mean,
So
I'm making a serious point there, Rupert, because as I'm looking at this again, looking at business cases, this really in AI again could help people making decisions in their diet. This could be aiming towards looking at how you eat and becoming more healthy. This could be the heart of a chatbot that starts to coach you, into better ways of eating and so on. And really seeing the application of this to businesses.
exactly. There's a lot of applications for all these, useful techniques. In data science, we use a lot of this, and similarly in gaming applications, or in healthcare, or in banking. If you want to replace certain, for example, in case of telecommunication, if you have given more offers to a particular customer, and if you want to change their offers, you can use these techniques in order to change their offers or replace their offer with something else, and give them more discount or give them less discounts. All right, so cool. So coming back to our drawing board once again, and so now just a second. So now, since this is the list 1 that we had for Paul, this list 1 contained a lot of books. Okay. And list 2, so he wants to extend his support by creating another list which contains, what would you like to have, Paul, which uh, to offer to your friends?
Well, they all like chocolate and cookies. They are just eating too much. They don't like reading, but they love
Okay.
chocolate and cookies.
Awesome. Fine. So let's have some chocolates and cookies. So here we have some cookies and chocolates. All right. Maybe something like this. Sorry. Looks like a fish. Okay. So there's a chocolate and cookies. All right. So these are the extra shelf that he has created to offer to his friends, apart from books. So how he can add both of these offers together. So let's create these. Let's have this variable as offer. Sorry. So first, let me have this list 1, which contains, so here I have this list 1. Okay, this is the list 1 that I have, and another list which we created is cookies. All right, so here we have cookie 1, 2, 3, and so on. So now he wants to extend his support. So what we can do is name of the books, dot extend and cookies, and when we shift enter, so I get this entire shelf, all these lists in one particular shelf, and I could have named it as offers equal to, and now since it might show me an error. Sorry about this, since I changed the name. Let me try it again. Okay, so it just gave me from the name of the books, and we just add both these items together. All right, so this is how we work with list and tuples. And so let's understand dictionary. Let's work with dictionary now, and let's see. So the dictionary is another data structure that we create, and it contains keys and values, and it is always under uh, curly brackets. So here we have keys and values. So this is how we create dictionary. This is syntax for creating a dictionary. So let's create dictionary one, and I name this dictionary one, the variable as dict1, and curly braces. So I give the key as maybe name of the person. And I say, okay, John, then age 25, and email as, so okay, can you suggest me if email ID, should I keep it under, can I comment this? Okay, should I keep it under double quotes, or should I just give the email ID as it is without the double quotes? Please type in your chat, answer in the chat window. Okay, Kianush, perfect. Derek, Kunsun, great. And why do you think so that I need to keep the email ID within double quotes? Because it is a string, right? So let's have John dot whatever at example.com. So this is the email ID that I have created, and country, maybe let's take UK. All right. So this is how we can create dictionary one and dictionaries. And what is the use of creating a dictionary? So that you know what you are creating, and this gives me the list of keys, and it helps us store our data. For example, in your employee data, for the HR analysis, they have all these information in the form of dictionaries, and the name of the employees, the age of the employees, the salary of the employees, and so on. So dictionary helps us locate our values. So let's check. Great. So this gives me the list of all the items in the dictionary. Okay. So let's check out what is the type of this particular variable that we have created. And as we learned that we can find out the type by using type dict1. So this gives me as dictionary. Right? So till now, okay, anybody has any question? Please let me know if anyone has any question till now.
How to check type of some element in the list?
I'm sorry.
For
could you-
example, yeah.
Yeah.
How to check type of second element in the list? It's integer, string, or something. How to check that?
Okay. All right. So let's take this example. Sorry. Right. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So let's take our example from previous thing, and all right. So this is the items that we have, or maybe I want to create another item. Okay. And I just want to write 65, 95.45. Okay. And if I want to check what is the type of this last item. So last item is at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is at the 6th index, right? And this is a positive index. And so if time permits, we will also learn about negative index. So I want to check this particular item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Name of books, and this is at 6th index. And I write down type of this item. So great. So now we get the answer as float. So did you find this useful, or was that, I mean, was I able to clarify your doubt? So any item, if you want to find out what is the type, so you can just fetch that item by using the index and just write down type before that particular item, and you will get the index. Sorry, you will get the data type of that particular item. All right. So can I have an answer if I want to find out the type of this particular object, the first item? Can I have an answer to that? Or what is the piece of code that you're going to write down? 0. Yes, this is at 0th index. But if I want to find out the data type of this particular item, right? So no worries about it. So if I want to find out the data type of the first item that is at 0th index, I just need to change the index over here and shift enter, and this gives me as string. Okay. So anybody has any other question? Paul, would you like to suggest?
Yes, sorry, I have a question. I don't understand what dictionaries can be.
Okay, I'm sorry, could you please repeat?
I couldn't understand the dictionary why is useful.
Okay. All right.
For
So,
what dictionary are useful?
all right. Thank you for this question. Very nice question. Okay, so here in the list, what you see is I have just given the name of the items, like, it is B3, B4, 95.45, but it is very confusing, right? And I don't know what is this for. What is B3 and what is 95.45? I don't know that. So dictionary helps me to identify our data, and it helps me to locate my data. For example, if I give John, so this is the name of the person or maybe employee name. And if I write 25, so it's if I don't give this key name, it will be very confusing. So whether 25 is his house number or maybe any other number, maybe his height or weight. So but if I write it as age, so it helps me clarify that okay, this is his age. And email address is John's email address. And if I write down UK, so it will be very confusing that what is it for. So this is, if I write down, it is for country name. So this helps me to uh, you know um, give me more clarity about my data. Did that answer your question?
Yes, so it's useful for data science, in which we are going to label our data. Yes, am I right?
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
I said
Yes.
these dictionaries are useful for data science, in which we are going to label our data.
Yes, exactly. So
Do you have
dictionary,
my voice?
yes, so dictionary is used for data science as well, data analysis as well, and for all the other businesses, for healthcare, for banking, for manufacturing, it can be used.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you for asking this question. And all right. So how can I find the length of dictionary? Similarly, the way we used for, list and tuples, we can also find the length for this particular dictionary. And this gives me the number of items that we have. So here we have, and it gives me the pair of key and value pair. It does not give me key separate and value separate. So it just consider this key and value as one single item in dictionary. So this gives me like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here I have an answer as 4. All right. So great. So I hope you all find this, everyone found this session useful, and there's a lot more to learn, and you can keep on practicing. You can practice whatever we have learned today, and yeah, and you can also refer Google as well. There are a lot of websites which gives you Python understanding, as well as you can also connect with me if you want to learn more. Connect with me for the free access to the beginners Python course. And if you later on, if you want to learn more advanced Python, you can get back to me as well. So Paul, are you there? Richard?
Yeah, just me here. If you can hear me all right. I think my video might have stopped again, but yeah. So thank you very, very much, Rupa. You growing confidence every single time you do this, and it's incredible to watch. That was a really brilliantly run session. And thank you for Paul for all the chipping in. I saw one comment about asking Paul to keep quiet, but I think we like Paul keeping the lightness of the session and making sure that everybody's there and enjoying it. So gratitude for Paul for that very much. And of course, Rupert, to you as well. I really applaud all of you today that have spent some of your important time learning this with us and developing these skills. They're certainly very valuable, and we're very keen to see opportunities to learn this around the world. It looks like we've been in very good company today, from UK to all over the world. So I will share these 3 links. If you haven't had a chance to click them yet, these are the key links for you. So if you want to stay in touch with us and get into conversations with others about all the different kind of work that we do, head on over to Telegram. So click that first link there, join our group conversation there, where we're talking about lots of different opportunities to get involved in things and the work that we do, which is both around innovation in AI, like sessions like this, but also the ethical side of AI. And Rupert, you must put a plug in for your new book before we finish. So I'll give you a few seconds to grab that link and then pop it in the chat, and then I can talk about that as well. We're doing this again next month, so we'll have some new people joining us, but by all means, definitely come back into that session. So that's number 2 link for you, Eventbrite. Go ahead there, book your place now, then you know it's done. It'll be in your diary, nice and plenty ahead in time. And then finally, our study group on LinkedIn. So that's where we'll share all the resources from today. It only goes in there, so you want to make sure you get into that group. You might still be pending. I need to go in a minute and just accept some requests, but that's the place to go. So come and hang out with us on Telegram, and we'll you know, progress all of our careers and lives and the world. And go ahead and book that session for March, because we'd love to see you again. And then finally, go ahead and join the study group. And then, so back to Rupa now for a couple of things. Other sessions, yeah, they're in the group. Just look ahead there. So follow Rupa on LinkedIn and you'll see her post just, I think it was yesterday, for the book that she's publishing around AI ethics. So kudos, Rupa, that's fantastic. And remember to get in touch with her as well. On LinkedIn will be a good place if you want access to her materials, to her incredible course. She's such a great resource, such a great person. Tell us more about the book, Rupa.
Sure. Thank you, Richard, for wonderful words. But it's really, I would love to see you on camera. It's quite confusing. Everybody's off the camera and I'm just talking to all these numbers. And okay. So, okay. All right. Thank you, Asmir. Thank you for showing up. Yes, so my book is on AI ethics with Buddhist perspective, and it has a lot of stories, short stories, as well as I have also tried to write a poem on the challenges that we are facing in the technological world these days. And with the advancement of artificial intelligence and the social media, that the way our data is being used, and how we are creating cloud empires. And it also talks about digital colonization. It talks about misinformation, fake news, and cyber wars, as well as a lot of Buddhist philosophy. And I've tried to make it more interesting with adding a lot of stories, as well as the drawings. So I hope you would find this interesting, and it gives a mental framework for all of us, being a consumer of the technology as well as being a creator of the technology, that how we need to be responsible while dealing with such powerful technologies, as well as when the businesses and politicians, what is their responsibility towards society, and the way we are using our or overrunning our planetary boundaries for profit-driven companies.
Oh, you're so on message here, Rupa. We love this. We absolutely love this. So check out Rupa's feed, and then you'll see details of the book. and just get in touch with her, and I'm sure she can point you to the right places to get a hold of it and purchase it in different formats. So I'll just do the thanks again because we have hit time, and I'm always try and start and finish on time. Yeah, thanks for posting that again, Paul. So thanks, Paul, for co-driving today alongside me, but mainly you today, I think, because I'll run out of steam on a Friday. And thank you, Rupa, for running a lovely session, as Natasha's just written. That's a great way to describe it. Well done, everybody, today. You've really put the hard yards in today. I can see that. Super proud of you all for jumping in and spending this time learning together. Let's get on that LinkedIn group together so we can stay in touch, share the resources, and support one another as well. You know, it's a big wide world out there. We need lots of friends, right? So well done, everybody. Thanks. I'll see you all in March for more of this. Recording